Time to do some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah. Hope I get away with it. Oh, da doo-dah day.
This town needs an enema.
Hey everybody, welcome to Stupid O'Clock. Joe Dog here. Let me just go ahead and bring everybody in. Rich, welcome, Rich.
Howdy.
And then there's Bill, and then there's this guy, John Scarborough. How you doing, sir?
Lousy, but I'll get over it. So, is everybody ready for Halloween?
I'm getting there. Oh,
Went to Costco this evening.
yeah.
Bought my Halloween candy. But they didn't have any Butterfingers.
That's not
They
good.
had all the Hershey's and M&M Mars stuff, but no Butterfingers.
Are you looking for the fun size ones, or
Either, both.
we got?
We have Butterfinger fans in the family.
Hey, Zach. If you want to drop in, John will send you a link real quick. We had a
Thanks for
beer.
volunteering me, Joe. Just
Yeah.
throw me under the bus.
Yeah,
Well, you do it faster than I do.
If I thought
I know
that,
Dollar General. I've seen them there. If you have one near you, but I'm sure they'll show up.
I've got to go.
Who doesn't have a Dollar
I've got to
General
go to
now?
Ingles anyway, so it's probably having.
Yeah,
Have y'all seen that video from the group called "It's a Southern Thing"? The Dollar General board meeting.
Hmm.
What's that? It's another one just popped up. Who ordered it? We don't know.
No.
They just appear.
It started growing in the back room of another Dollar General.
and around here it's a Dollar General, and what's across the street or right next door to it? A Casey's gas station.
Or a Dollar Tree.
I did not know this. You know,
Hey,
the
Carl.
expensive candy Ferrero Rocher.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's who owns Butterfinger.
Huh.
Interesting.
Well, I was just thinking about that. Couldn't remember who made Butterfingers. Oh, Nestle. Nestle actually does.
Nestle.
Oh, they didn't
Now
have
it
any
used to
Nestle.
be. It was originally Curtis that made Butterfingers, or who first made them.
Hi, Sarah.
Sarah.
And then you've got Butterfinger's tropical cousin, the Zagnut.
Yeah. Well, back in the day, you had that. You had a peanut butter version of one called
Chickle Sticks.
not the one I'm thinking of. It looks just like a Zagnut, but it has chocolate on the outside, and instead of coconut, it has like crunchy peanut butter, pretty much like a Butterfinger. but not as
Zagnut
rock
Zagnut
hard
was
as
Hershey.
Butterfinger.
See, it was originally by the D.L. Clark Company, who made the Clark bar. There's one you
Clark
haven't
bar and
Haven't had one of those in ages. Dear God, I miss those.
Black Cow, I think, was another one that is no
The
longer
Cowtails?
around.
seen. There is a
Not
website.
Cowtails. It was an actual candy bar. Back in the 80s, if you ever read comic books at all in the 80s, they had a great big thing from the companies that made Clark and
Zero
Zagnut.
bars.
And Zero was one of them.
Yep. Yoo-hoo candy bars. I never knew about that one.
Had
Breaking
them.
news. Breaking news. President signed pardon of federal prisoners convicted of simple marijuana possession while flying on Air Force One. So he was high when he did it.
Come on, John. Where's the wah, wah, wah?
I don't. Oh, all right. See, now, if Joe had told me he was going to do this, I'd have had it ready. Now I got to go find one.
Now, Rich, what's the matter? Did you just go get something to throw at the camera?
No. I got something because after that, I might have to go back on the answer you gave me earlier. All right. The answer I gave you earlier. Sorry. I learned how to speak one of these days. It's not like I do it for a living.
And I will give Lewis Lee credit for that. So,
I'm looking at a website right now called Classic Candy Box, and you can sign up for different size boxes, and they'll fill it up with different types of candies. And they got Zots. Remember Zots? You've been into them, and they foam up in your mouth, make it look like you.
Oh yeah.
They have wax fangs, vampire fangs, wax bottles, pop rocks. Let's see here.
Just aired a 1979 commercial for Pop Rocks on the Every Day is Saturday group. And there's one kid there that I swear looks like a young version of Fat Albert. He's got the red shirt with the white collar and everything. Every time I see that commercial, I think of that. But Pop Rocks with Coca-Cola. There's your deadly combination.
Payday
So
bars.
what site did you say it was, John? What site did you say?
It's
Classic
called
Candy?
Classic Candy Box.
Okay.
Don't they do it by like decades or whatever? Like you
They can.
can't. Yeah, I've seen them before.
Like they've got licorice pipes.
Huh.
Looks like you're smoking a little hash pipe. So, and the old the bubblegum cigars.
No.
But what about the candy cigarettes
I am working.
that you could blow smoke with the powdered sugar in the
I miss
inside
those.
the cigarette? Yeah, that was cool.
well, good news. We just picked up another attendee at HallowCon.
Whom?
Luke True.
Hmm.
He's from Rockwood, Tennessee. And he's will not be allowed at, let's just say Robin and Jesse will not be making his weekend. And John understands that.
Oh.
I was going to say, go ahead and say it.
But yeah, we picked. That's good. I like seeing people pay after October 1st. Oh, Rich, you look like you're into something. Looking for trouble.
No, it's John got me
Looking at the
putting
classic candy
Yeah.
websites.
What's the what is the website so I can?
I just posted it to Stupid O'Clock.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I will be checking that out later this evening. Of course, I was telling Rich that I've been on a kick, and I finally found one of my favorite movies that's streaming, so I don't have to break out the DVD player. Eddie and the Cruisers. Love the music from that one. Of course, that's not Mike Parrier singing.
Not yet, no.
The guy's name is John Cafferty, and the band's called the Beaver Brown Band. All right, what you got, John?
There you go. That's the one I was looking at. There's wax fangs, wax bottles, and Yoo-Hoo. I never knew they made Yoo-Hoo candy bars. Makes perfect sense.
I will tell you, I've had them before. I'm a big fan of the Yoo-Hoo drink, chocolate drink. The candy bars, not so much. No, they're not horrible. Don't get me wrong, but they really don't taste like Yoo-Hoo if that's what you're going into it for.
Turkish taffy.
Yeah,
that sounds interesting.
First sold through Woolworths, according to the little thing down here. And Charleston Chews, Pop Rocks.
Oh yeah.
Sweet Tart.
Charleston Chews.
Sugar Daddy, and Sugar Babies.
Oh, watch out!
Yeah, you're gonna get a strike there.
Yeah,
yeah.
Right before.
He didn't say
Talking
baby
about Dextro's
What are you
daddies.
talking about?
Smarties.
I'm not seeing Necco wafers on there, John. What's going on?
Don't know.
Oh, Reeds. I forgot about them.
Oh, wow.
Root beer
I love
barrels.
sixlets.
They still sell those at Dollar Tree.
What, the root beer barrels?
Yeah.
Mm.
Is it just me, or does the Turkish taffy logo to me, or to anyone else, seem something that shouldn't be on a product to be sold to kids?
Pull it up, John. Let's see what it is.
What?
The Turkish taffy.
Oh, it's just a hard taffy that you break it, and then it's crunchy, and then it's chewy.
But the logo looks very phallic.
Where? There were two of them. There's this one.
Right there. So if you look at
another one.
the B for it, a little bit further up was the original. And it's actually a larger
Pixie
logo.
Sticks.
There's the strawberry. There's vanilla.
Yeah.
It's supposed to
Just
look
looks
like a
very
minaret.
phallic.
Now those
click
Charleston
on it
Chews
so
aren't.
it'll be bigger.
Yeah.
And it's not bigger, of course. Yeah. Sort of reminds me of the original Aladdin VCR tape.
Yeah.
VHS tape.
It's a minaret. It's probably supposed to look like that.
I saw maple nut goodies in there too. There it is. In the red and green package.
Oh, nut goodie.
Those are good.
Really?
Yes. And they're still available. I've seen them. Rural King and Menards, a bunch of places still have them.
There's those licorice pipes I was thinking about. Mary Jane's molasses candy.
Yep. Those are good. Which, for those of you who don't know, Mary Jane's is peanut butter taffy. Abba Zaba? Nope.
The Jolly Ranchers. Jawbreakers. What size they are.
But the
Oh, that's how
Charleston
big-
chews that they show there are the little teeny tiny ones. That's not the
They
ones
have
I
the big ones.
remember.
They have the big bars too.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Yeah,
No,
seeing
we
that
would
big,
buy.
seeing
Oh,
that
go
big
ahead, Joe.
jawbreaker, seeing that big jawbreaker reminds me of MythBusters episode.
Ooh, that was one of my favorites when I was a kid.
What?
The gold mine gum.
Mm-hmm.
Came in a little sack, looked like little gold nuggets.
Fruit stripe gum.
And it kind of tasted like juicy fruit gum, if I remember right.
Yeah,
Well, the thing about fruit stripe
The-
is it only
or
the
the gold
flavor
one.
only lasted about 2 or 3 minutes, and then it just turned to
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
Goo Goo Clusters from Nashville, Tennessee.
Now, what I was going to say about the Charleston chews was you bought the big bars, you put them in your freezer and let them freeze up solid, take them out and smack them against the counter to break them all up into little bits, and that's how you ate them.
Cowtails.
Chuckles, originally from Danville, Illinois.
Right there.
The candy cigarettes.
1921. The chocolate Turkish taffy. Charleston Chew in the bar.
Oh, yep, there's the black cow.
Chocolate Pop Rocks. Ooh.
Banana Turkish taffy. Astro Pops. Oh dear God, I'm surprised I didn't lose more teeth to those.
Candy necklace.
There's your
Back
candy
in the-
cigarettes, Joe.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
They still got them?
Let's see.
Are they available? Is it available for purchase, or is it just showing them off?
Is there a warning on the side of the box?
Let's see here. I don't think these are the ones that blow smoke, but I could be wrong.
You do remember those, don't you, John?
Yeah, they had the candy ones that were like hard candy, and then they had the bubble
Ones
gum.
are more like bubblegum ones with the
Bubblegum,
paper wrap.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bubblegum ones blew the smoke out the end. Then you peeled the wrapper off and chewed the gum.
No, these are the hard candy mint flavored ones.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yes.
I remember back in the day, we would walk up to the Chuckles factory. They had a little place up front that you could buy them. They're fresh. And this would have been back in the late 70s, early 80s. You could get 5 pounds of individually wrapped Chuckles for $3. 5 pounds of Chuckles would be enough for trick-or-treaters all night long, and then you could feast on them for the next couple days.
These the assorted charms, they used to put those in the MREs. That and M&Ms, peanut butter M&Ms. There was some other candy that I can't remember what they had there. Abba's. Let's see if they actually.
Abba Zaba is also peanut butter too, I believe.
Gift. Well, they got different gift packages you can get.
Yeah, oldtimecandy.com has the bubblegum cigarettes that you can blow the smoke out of.
Oh, really?
Looks like $1.09 a pack. The link's in the private chat.
Oh, I sent Zach something on Discord. I don't know
Yeah.
if he's still listening or not, but I should have mentioned that when I did it.
Ooh.
Okay, oldtimecandy.com lets you do you can tell them what decade you want the candy from.
Yeah. And I believe Cracker Barrel made those boxes available for a while, some time ago. I mean, you can get a lot of that at the Cracker Barrel, and all the different pop, all the cheer wine and double cola and all that stuff too. But
my blackjack chewing gum.
Yeah.
Yes, I love licorice. Ooh, they got good ones. They got crows.
Charlie says, you don't remember that theme song for Good and Plenty? Love my Good and Plenty.
Okay, I remember that part, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think it was from the 60s or early 60s. It was black and white animated commercial.
Bubblegum cigarettes.
You would be the hit of your neighborhood, John, if you handed those out to the trick-or-treaters this Halloween.
Barley Pops, sizzling bacon. Barley Pops, zoo animals. I'm not sure if there's suckers. I'm not sure if they're bacon flavored or just made to look like bacon. Actually, that one looks kind of like it's got bacon bits in it. Yeah, so tastes exactly like you'd imagine. I hope not, because I don't imagine it tasting very good. Most bacon candy I've encountered does not. It's frightening. And I'm a fat boy, so I love candy of most types.
Our local donut shop, Royal Donut, over in Danville, there for a while was selling a glazed yeast donut that I think had vanilla icing on it, and it basically had the bacon bits that you would shake in your salads or whatever, and called them bacon donuts, and they were a hit for the longest time.
It sounds too much like a cream cheese and bacon bagel.
So the things you find while you're cleaning up the spare bedroom, I'm looking to move some stuff in there as far as doing my art commissions and eBay stuff, things like that, and kind of finding room for boxes. And of course, you got to move 3 things to make room for one thing.
Sure.
And then, of course, you find things that you long forgot that you had. And I didn't realize it till I dropped this one box and it talked to me. And I'm like, okay, what's in here? And I pull out, and I've already got it off, but I pull out this kind of patriotic looking sock thing that had that had something hard inside of it, and I opened it up and I found Tricky Dick.
I am not a crook.
And here's the other thing. Tricky Dick talks.
Americans are a do-it-yourself people. We're dictation people. Instead of teaching someone
He has. Shut up, Dick. But
You're gonna get us banned.
I didn't even say anything.
I didn't say you, Dick. I said, okay, Richard with ears. Anyway.
That just reminded me. We had, in our area, we have McCamey Animal Shelter, It's backed by the ASPCA. When they first opened, they had a guy who was a dog catcher. His name was Richard Head.
I know Richard Head over here too.
I went
He
to school with the
lived up,
Richard Head.
he lived up to his name.
Hmm.
There was also a Richard Hard in our school, 2 grades above me.
There was a drill sergeant in my company in basic training. Drill Sergeant Hell. Hell. He was the one they always sent to greet people as they came off the bus. It's like right after you leave the reception station, you go to your first company where you're going to be. That's the guys who you get off the bus. He's standing there, big old name tag. Hell.
God. This thing says, I kept hitting the button and playing all the things that he says. And he does say the people got to know that their president is not a crook and I'm not a crook. That whole phrase, it does say that. It talks about a lot of different things like Vietnam era stuff and about building up a strong military and all this. But the one thing out of about the 20 different sound bites that's on this figure that I wished that had on there, but it doesn't, is the socket to me one that he did on the cameo from Laugh-In. That's, and maybe because it wasn't politically
That would explain
relevant.
the socket came in.
Yeah. But the company that makes these are no longer in business. It's actually called the Toy President Company. And they made out of let's see, I think the current president at the time when they went out of business was George W. Bush, possibly. But anyway, they made them Bill Clinton, Jimmy Carter, Gerald Ford, Lincoln, Washington, Teddy Roosevelt, all of them having their own individual little sound bites and that in them. And then they originally came with a little pamphlet that talked about, what they did during their presidency and all that. And they're really actually pretty nice, and the suits and everything are all quite accurate, right down to the socks and shoes and that. And Figure Toy Company that makes the Mego style 8-inch figures has them of a lot of presidents, and they have done more current ones that will include Obama and Trump and even Biden and Kamala Harris, and that they're kind of going all out. But they don't talk, and they're but they're still nicely dressed and everything.
They probably talk, you just can't understand what the hell they're saying.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of them. I know, like the Reagan one, they have like variant suits for them. You could get the one in the blue suit or the one in the gray suit. Hi, Carrie. And all that. So they're kind of doing that shtick. But
Oh, and there is no last man standing tonight, so when we end, it's over.
it may be over before that. You never know. But
What do you mean, Kerry? New avatar? Oh. Okay. Sorry, I just threw a Tootsie Roll in my mouth and it was cold.
So how many teeth did you lose?
league's up front. Okay. What? Did it just kill the show?
No, I'm still trying to figure out if Kerry is saying he has a new avatar or.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I actually was messing with my youngest a couple weeks ago. They're like, "Dad, I don't feel good. Can you come pick me up from school?" And I'm like, "New phone. Who dis?" They weren't happy. They were about halfway home by the time I caught up to them. So we only live half a mile from the school, a little over a mile from the school. So I caught up to about the half-mile mark. They were displeased. I laughed.
So who's bringing him home?
Oh no, they were walking because again, like I said, they're a little over a mile from the school. So, or we live a little over a mile from the school. So they walked about half a mile before, we met in the middle, basically. They were not pleased. They did not find my joke amusing. Misty laughed.
Was she with him?
No, it's Misty was at work, so that's why Crow actually reached out to me.
So you're saying the kid called because he was sick and needed to walk home?
Texted me. Well, no, it wasn't sick. They were tired. So it was actually after school. They missed the bus.
Oh, okay.
So they're like, "Dad, can you come get me? I'm not feeling good." So I just texted back, new phone, who it is, while getting my shoes and getting out to the car to go get them.
Yeah.
So they're about halfway home walking by the time, and they're like, "That wasn't funny."
The ungrateful.
Didn't tell him about.
I don't care if that's a half a mile. I don't have to walk. I would have been tickled to death to see you by then.
Oh, they're happy that I picked them up, but they're like, that joke was not funny.
You didn't tell them though about when you were their age that you had to walk 12 miles uphill both ways, going and coming home from school.
In a 2 feet of snow.
And occasionally fight grizzly bears.
Mhm.
Well, luckily, it's before Pop passed. We had to stay with him for a couple months while we got, in line for the apartment we're in now, and managed to get the apartments. We needed someplace in the interim. So they saw the driveway I had to walk up, and they're like, and I'm like, yes, and it became a sheet of ice every winter.
Getting down was no problem. Going back up, it was a little fun.
Coming down, all I do is take a couple of steps and do a penguin slide and just put my book bag in front of my face so I didn't slam into the bricks at the bottom that was in our retaining wall. But getting up was entertaining until I got past the side retaining wall so I could actually get to the grass and actually have traction to walk up.
Yeah, where I live, before I lived here, we had a driveway like that. And we're down here in the South, we don't handle snow too well. And I had a 2-wheel drive Jeep Cherokee. So I made a run at it at the hill. I headed up the driveway and came back down and hit nose first. It did a whoop.
Our riding mower had both a plow and a snowblower attachment. We had a separate snowblower. My dad had a 4x4 that had a plow, just to make sure that we could get our driveway clear because of how steep it was. So yeah, it was always an adventure, and I've lived my entire life in Northwest Indiana, so it's snow and ice is nothing new to me. Now, granted, it's nothing like Pops when he was growing up, because he actually grew up in northern Wisconsin, about 70 miles north and slightly east of Green Bay. So they could throw a rock and hit Michigan.
Hmm. What are you doing, John?
I am seeing if I can find a decent picture of an old neighborhood I used to live in. Wow, they let that yard go.
What's the name of the street? I've probably been there.
No, this is up Middle Valley. It's Valleywood Circle.
Okay.
I'm trying to find a picture. I'm trying to find a good picture of this hill, but
Exactly, Carl. Exactly. You see what he's saying, Rich?
Actually, I like Michigan. Michigan's not that bad. I'm a stone's throw from Michigan now myself.
I still say Uper should become its own state.
Okay, yeah, Upers are a completely different story. Although my father wasn't far off from being a Uper. My father was in his 40s before he could finally pronounce a soft TH sound. Get me tree of does. What of what? Tree of does. So yeah, my father was an interesting man.
He could have been speaking French to you. You just didn't know it, Rich.
Probably closer to Swedish. Swedish and German were a lot of the bloodlines of where he grew up. In fact, his dad was actually fresh off the boat from his biological father, I should say, was fresh off the boat from Sweden. Complete and
And
total
happy
tool.
German American Day today, too, by the way.
Today is German American Day. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was Thursday.
No, they canceled that.
Probably, Gary.
Yeah. So, speaking of weather and your local region and that, we may be getting our first freeze this Saturday morning early on. Not a hard freeze, but it's supposed to be like 32, 33 for a low. So it could be a killing frost, if not anything else. It may, and Sunday is not supposed to be that different either for the low for then. So it may end the growing season as we know it.
Well, as long as it's not that dirty 4-letter word starts with an S, we're good.
This is a good one.
I thought soap was clean, but okay.
I'm trying to figure out where this happened. I think this is in England. But let's see. A 90-year-old former boxer followed a burglar out of his house and tracked him down in a nearby Asda market, which I believe is a liquor store type thing that they have over there. And before smashing him in the face and taking his wallet back. The pensioner, who wishes to remain anonymous, was in his house in Hull. I'm assuming this is England. When Nicholas Norton came to his door pretending to have an injured leg. When the elderly man went to get a cloth to clean the stranger's wound, Norton grabbed his wallet and ran out of the house. The retiree, once a middleweight boxing champion in the Navy Reserves, dashed out of the house and followed Norton in his car to a nearby Asda on Beverly Road. Heading inside, the brave pensioner grabbed hold of the thief at the checkout, punched him in the face before taking his wallet back.
And the thing is, Hull, I want to say, has a reputation for having some rough sorts in it. So I don't know why the thief would have thought he would have been able to get away that easily.
Turns out this guy Norton that stole the wallet has convictions for 80 previous offenses, including 44 for theft. Has now been sentenced to 3.5 years in prison.
Holy cow.
Yeah, no.
When he got his wallet back, he should have said, now I'm going to take your wallet.
No, he should have gone, now what's in your wallet?
Yeah, it's somewhere in England because apparently he made one purchase of a 44 pence bar of chocolate before the guy punched him in the face.
Hey, Samuel, what's in your wallet?
What's more important is what's on my wallet. Bad motherfucker.
All right.
Yeah.
Says it's on the northeast side of England. Well, see, that's something these young kids of today don't realize. Those old farts, 65 and up, they ain't afraid. An ass whooping was a daily thing.
I gotta find the quote. I can't remember the exact thing, but it was a young warrior and an old warrior coming together, and the young warrior is flexing and showing his stuff, and the old warrior is just kind of watching him, shaking his head, and the young warrior makes some snide comment, and the old warrior leads in, "I'm old for a reason."
Yeah.
Beware the old man in a job where people die young.
Yeah.
Beware of a job where the first thing a retiree does is die.
Beware of the Old Man, sung by Neil Young. I've been told that Beck is going to sing a cover version of Neil Young's Old Man. I forget where. It was, I think, first heard of during a commercial during football last weekend. And they went to Neil Young for a comment about what he thought about Beck singing that, and Neil Young wouldn't comment. Which probably means he sang it better. I didn't hear it, but...
Well, you heard about, when they did We Are the World. Is that the American version? Yeah. Did you hear the kids from Ethiopia took up a collection to get Neil Young off that song?
Yet they let Bruce Springsteen still sing. And who among us understood him when he did?
Who knows? It's He's a Jersey boy.
I think they ought to do one with Bruce Springsteen, Axl Rose from Guns N' Roses, Joe Cocker, if he was still with us. All these people that you just can't understand a single word that they say while they sing, and have them do a big "We Are the World" or "USA for Africa" or whatever.
Well, guys, this is my 4th bottle of water since 6 o'clock. I got to go down the hall. So I'll be right back. I miss Dan.
You miss Dan.
I hope he missed him, because if he hit him, Dan would be awful mad.
So do you guys get a lot of trick-or-treaters at your place?
The old house, a fair amount. The new place, we don't know because we just moved in. In fact, the wife and I were talking about candy supplies about an hour before the show. So, like, yeah, we've got a bunch of apartment buildings and 3 different complexes. 4 different complexes because there's one right across the street. Very close together. So, yeah, we're trying to figure out how much we're going to have to purchase for this year.
Well, since my 13-year-old niece is no longer trick-or-treating, although she's going to dress up and go over to her aunt's house to help hand out candy to trick-or-treaters, I'll have very little to buy this year. My next-door neighbor has 3 kids that I make up a little bag for them last year, and I'll do that again this year. And that, but other than that, we don't see it. I think people are so selective about where they let their kids go around here. Justly so, in a lot of situations, sadly, but it's not quite the same as when I was a wee youngin'. And, you go out and, well, after a certain age, you go out with your friends and go trick-or-treating, 9, 10 years old, whatever. And mom and dad would say, okay, be back in 2 hours or whatever, and it's kind of like, oh, Mom, we can't get enough candy that way. And but we would hit every house that had a porch light on, and nowadays it's a little scary to do that. And even with my daughters back in the 90s, I'd say if the porch light's not on, don't go up there, and all, but it wasn't to the degree that I think about it by today's standards. So I don't know.
My browsers are being goofy. I will be back in just a moment.
Okay.
Tell them to be Donald or Mickey.
Oh. Hi, we're here. So, let's see, what else did I buy at Costco?
Where'd Rich go?
Rich who?
Rich Little.
There he is. I know what he did. He hit the wrong button.
No. He just said his browsers were giving him trouble and he was going to bounce out and back.
Yeah, my browser froze up on me, so.
Oh, okay.
I'll be back in one moment to show you something that I had fun with on Halloween once.
All right.
Costco had $10 off on beef briskets. which ain't bad at all because I went and got a what would have normally been a $60 beef brisket for $50. So,
All right. Tilt that down just a little bit there. Oh, man, I'm tired.
ow. Welcome to Old Fart Television.
Well, all week long, the only rocket.
Way up here. Here's John. Here's Joe.
Yeah. If you look at it, you can tell, you read graphs, from right to left. The graph, we're going downhill.
We're going downhill.
Yeah.
I can fix that. There we go. Now we're on an up spike.
Wow, we're through the rough now.
Kiri says he's developed an addiction to stairs recently. He's joined a 12-step program.
So,
Dad joke.
one of my best friends is also my brother-in-law. They lived a 5-minute drunken stumble from us. Our youngest wanted to trick-or-treat by themselves. Our wives said, oh, hell no. So my brother-in-law and I decided to go ahead and dress up. We'll let them stay 20 feet ahead. And we both carried our light steel.
Oh. Hang on a minute. You know what's
So
funny?
you got to shave.
Look familiar?
Starfire?
Starfire.
Yes.
I had mine polished though.
I need to give mine some better care. Mine's seen better days.
Yeah.
But I do drill with mine, so. Well, I did
the
before
guy
my
who
shoulder
makes
issue.
these, I can never pronounce the fellow's name, but he makes these out of spring steel, like with leaf springs from underneath trucks.
Yeah.
You could beat a car apart with one of these. Okay.
This is for stage combat.
This is not
Yeah.
a play sword.
Although you sharpen it and you lose your warranty.
I've sharpened it, dulled it, sharpened it some more.
Now, the thing is carrying a sword like that in public considered a concealed weapon if it's in the sheath?
No.
Or
Especially because of the size. Well, in Indiana, I can carry a 15-inch Bowie knife on my hip if I want. I draw it and I do something threatening with it, then it becomes brandishing, and then it becomes a crime.
Yeah, you go to the Pilot truck stop and you can find basically it's a billy club that they sell, but they have a flashlight on the end of it. So they call it a flashlight. I remember back in the days, they had wooden ones and engraved along the side, it said tire knockers. And it was supposed to be
check the tire, yeah.
check the tires. But they didn't buy them for that. That was stuck behind their seats.
well, I know in Tennessee, it is not illegal to buy a pair of brass knuckles. It's illegal to take them home.
Huh?
It's illegal to possess them. You can buy them all day long. You can't transport them.
I remember back when I was a teenager, it was illegal to have a suicide knob on your steering wheel of your vehicle, yet everybody did.
Yeah.
And-
You mean the handicap jobber?
Mm-hmm. Call it a suicide knob because people will be driving 70 miles an hour down the road, crank that sucker to do a Burt Reynolds turnaround, and a lot of people would end up flipping their cars because of that. My brother had one on a 70 Barracuda, but he mounted his low enough so it was below the dash. So if police came by, and they looked over, they wouldn't see it. And I said, well, that kind of defeats the purpose. And he says, no, not if you know how to do it.
Well, one of the reasons those cars were flipping is the tires were not built to do that. Back then. Most of them had a tube in it at that. And you just roll it right, you pinch the tube, boom. Of course, Kerry says, now what am I going to do with all these brass knuckles now? I'll bring my forge over and we'll make some brass bars out of them.
I like the guy
They're
that sold the brass
paperweights.
knuckle. He was selling brass knuckles as paperweights.
Well, I believe shurikens are illegal to sell or buy, and
In a lot of places.
I'd
yeah.
seen somebody was selling them, but they put a chain through the hole in it and saying it's a necklace. That's how they were getting by with it. I don't know how long they got by with it, but at the time they were.
Yeah, and
Yeah, another thing you can buy, you just can't possess is bongs.
Is what?
A bong, the glass thing for partaking in the incineration of wheat.
the devil's lettuce.
Now the funny thing is, story about Tommy Chong signing a bong. That he says, this is one bong I won't hit. That bong is here in Chattanooga. It's phallic shaped.
Didn't he try to put out his own line of glass bongs a while
I
back?
believe he succeeded.
Yeah.
When we were in Iraq, they sold the hookahs, which is kind of like a bong, but everybody's got their own little individual pipe. So that's
Community bong.
party bong.
It's basically what the bongs were derived from. Was those classic hookahs. Yeah, I learned to speak. CheechandChongGlass.com. You're officially licensed Cheech and Chong Glass.
Put that link up, would you?
And also when you post the link into please post HallowCon does not endorse this website.
Wait a minute. As of today, thanks to President Joe Biden, that's not a problem anymore.
No, the law's still on the books. Anybody convicted before today has been pardoned. People are still awaiting trial, and they still could do jail time.
That don't make no fun. I've always wondered if they make marijuana if federally they make marijuana illegal, what the Army's going to do about that.
I'll make it legalized. Yeah.
Yeah. Because technically, the Army says, no drugs, but
Well, I think like anything else, if you legalize it federally, I think the individual organizations or businesses still have a right to say, we recognize that it's federally legalized, but it is not allowed in our place of business or within our organization. Much like carrying weapons, you know.
Here's the legal standing on that. Precedence is already set. There are companies that have no tobacco policies. So
Yeah, a lot of hospitals do.
so that would they
And the government has a no smoking policy in government buildings. So.
Well,
But they didn't say anything about brownies.
A lot of businesses also have various laws about being intoxicated on the job too.
Yeah.
I should say, jobs have policies. I think that's a law. Jobs have policies about being intoxicated on the clock.
Rich, your door just did something crazy back there.
Did it open more or did it close more?
It opened more.
It's a
Okay, probably
ghost.
the fan.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've got a fan behind me, so it's probably open just enough that as the air's going that way, it's pushing the door open.
Yeah, I thought maybe you had a ghost.
Either that or the cat wanted to come in.
7 days.
Well, that's 2 weeks from now.
Yeah. I'm fine with 7 days because that means the wife gets a huge payoff.
I'm looking forward to the 19th personally. I mean, I wish it'd be the 12th, but it's the 19th for me. I'm getting a raise.
That should be November 1st for me. Although they haven't told me what my increase in my bonus is yet.
No, this is my. I'm getting a government raise. For starting in November, but they're giving us back pay, which will be nice. Oh, what is pretty good? I lost.
I was just looking at some of the Cheech and Chong products.
Yeah.
It's all movie related.
John, I may have to have you make me a batch of brownies.
Okay. I have to think if I had everything.
Except that one ingredient, probably.
I know people.
Okay.
I think everybody knows people.
Everybody knows people.
Yeah,
How do you
I can
know
go over
they're
the
people?
border in 2 ways. Well, that's right. They could be the same, no pun intended, thing out of John Carpenter's The Thing.
Or it could be a sock puppet named Socko. For when we have nothing to talk about.
I have
Rich,
to find that clip and send that to my middle child.
Rich, you've never seen when I come back from Facebook ban? When I start my show from my Facebook ban, I got one clip I always play. I love this.
Oh,
Yeah, I
That's always fun.
I personally would have used the Jack Nicholson one from The Shining.
Here's Johnny. No. I'll let Facebook know I'm back. Let's see. Dig deeper. I mean, they're now going back 4 years on what you say.
Speaking of Facebook bans, is Brian K. Morris still in jail, or he?
Yep.
Still? Okay. I didn't know how long of it.
Do we know what he got jailed for?
He replied to a post that I had put up that I was complaining. And the thing is, Brian said what I said when I was in my complaint. So a year or so ago, within the last year, someone had up the picture of the warehouse that's just completely, all the shelves are over, something like that. The boss walks in after your night shift. What do you tell him? And I said, Spider, I think I got it. But we might need to burn the place down just in case. Got taken down because I was promoting arson. How many thousands of times that same similar type of thing has been reposted? The little girl with the smiling, smuggling in the foreground, the house on fire in the background, going, I think I got the spider, stuff like that. So there was another post that I saw in my feed that was talking about, I have a way of lighting up a room. Or some people say I have a special way of lighting up a room. That way is called arson, and those people are called witnesses. So I'm like, that doesn't get pulled, but my, more tame comment about getting rid of a spider is. And then Brian responded to my post about, burning down a house because there's a spider. So he actually, I saw he replied, and then I couldn't find the reply, and then other people told me he was talking about that. So I'm guessing that's what triggered it, because people were saying it got triggered over talking about burning down a house because of the spider.
Oh, did you see the post the other day of the tarantula snake?
Oh,
yeah. One of these Photoshop. It was a snake with a tarantula for a head. And I posted up, I said, tagged Brian, and I said, don't reply to this, Brian.
Just makes me think of a furry facehugger.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, I don't know how long he's going to be in Facebook prison, but I think Carl Witzman ought to smuggle in a chocolate cake with a file in it for him.
I love that. That is such a great headline. Biden goes to Biden.
Yeah. This is what got me. After the first band, Brian came into the humor group and griped about the band, so he got a longer one.
Oh.
They can do that. You don't like the band, so you complain about it. They ban you longer. Jackasses.
My parents did it to me for grounding when I was a kid. You want to complain? All right, another week. What? All right, 2 more weeks. All right, I'm shutting up now. 3 more weeks.
You know something?
Talked.
People need to quit providing Facebook with services. No plumbers for their bathrooms. The electricians don't want to come out and work for anything. Nobody wants to cut their grass and make them, either pay out the nose for it or do it themselves. So and then it said, well, every time they call, it says, will you come by and fix our toilets? No. Why? Because you don't meet my community standards.
All they need is about 6 IT guys go, you know what? Fuck this.
I think that's all they've got is 6 IT guys running the whole damn thing. Everything else is bots.
Could be. Every so often they do get hit pretty bad with DDoS attacks. So um, Blizzard's been getting hit with a DDoS attack the past couple of days. So Overwatch 2 day before yesterday, and yesterday was Warcraft. The wife and I were kind of irked.
Say that again, slow.
Blizzard Entertainment, the company that makes Warcraft and Overwatch.
What the attack?
They were attacked with a DDoS attack. It's a denial of service attack. Basically, you have a bunch of hackers using virtual machines and their own machines all over the place that are flooding a website with requests for information and stuff like that. So basically just bogging everything down so nothing can get through. Think of Black Friday, Walmart with 16-inch TVs going for $50 a pop.
Or if you're at a football stadium, everybody trying to get in the bathroom at the halftime show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or get that last beer before cutoff.
Last call.
I forget what the first D stands for in that, so.
Yeah. Carrie's going, did somebody flood the
Distributed. Very possibly.
What were they doing in Winnie the Pooh's bathroom anyway?
Now,
Besides taking poo pics.
Now, Rich, do you remember when the Java bomb was real fun? You know, where you had to click OK for all these stupid questions?
Yeah.
I built one that had 500 clicks. Then there was a question of, do you want this to end? Yes, no. Or
Hey, Chris.
or pick a number to end this. 2 of them restarted the whole thing. The third one took to the Barney side.
You are a sick, sick, evil man. I am glad I am on your side.
Yeah, it was. That's just pure evil, isn't it?
That's unadulterated levels of just wrong on so many flavors.
And I think it was even set up where if you click the X on the browser, it wouldn't let you close the browser. You actually had to task manager to shut the browser down.
Well, if more than 2 pop-ups come up from any site that I go to, I immediately kill the browser. I don't even muck around with any clicks or anything like that. I just go in and I immediately kill the browser.
Yeah, I've got one right now. If I turn it on, it'll pop up. Norton Antivirus says you've got 3 viruses, and then the little window next to it says Norton Antivirus says you have 5 viruses. And I'm like, Norton needs to make up his damn mind.
I love it when those show up on mine because I'm like, I don't use Norton, so I know you're fake.
Exactly. I don't. I'm using Windows.
My best
Windows
friend works
Secure.
for Trend Micro, so I use Trend Micro stuff.
Trend Micro was a pretty good one.
So I use
Avast.
it the firm too.
Avast.
Avast is a good free one. And actually, okay, it is National, Cybersecurity Awareness Month, so I have to do a spiel because it's what I do in the day job. Remember, the IRS is never going to call you to tell you that they owe or that you owe them money. They are never going to ask for you to pay them in Google Play cards or Apple cards or any of that crap in any way, shape, and or form. They're going to send things on paper because then there's a trail and they can track it. It's be safe and always stop, look, pay attention to what you're clicking on, hover your mouse over any links, read the URLs. If the URL doesn't make sense of where it's going, don't click on it. And
Yeah, the URL will pop up in the bottom left corner.
depending on the browser that you're doing and whether you're in browser or email or stuff like that. So always look at those and just be safe. If you don't trust it, don't click on it. If you're not sure about it, don't click on it. They are trying to get you to react out of greed, vanity, compassion, fear, or anger. So they work just like credit collections people do. Credit collections people are trying to get you to either get chummy with them so that you want to go ahead and pay off because you want to make your new friend happy, or they're trying to make you scared, or they're trying to make you mad enough that you're just like, okay, I'm going to pay this just to get rid of these folks. Calm down. Don't act out of emotion. Think. And if you have any questions, find someone. Exactly.
And especially don't click on anything I post.
Yes.
I love that one I posted today. He said, wait for it. The guy that's holding the bag of water with the lighter over his sleeping girlfriend.
But they make you wait like 15 minutes before you actually see it. That's why I don't hardly watch those things anymore.
Thing is, it's a looping video.
I was going to say it's either a looping video
We
or
don't
Joe
look at
Dog
Joe's
is never
videos.
going
We
to
don't
give
look
you
at Joe's
up.
videos anymore.
He's never going to let you down. He's never going to run around or desert you.
Yeah, Carl's right. Never, nothing that Joe posts, especially if it says wait for it. I think the best one I've ever had, and it's about to come up again, is the guy. He's an archer, and it's got the music, and the camera angle changes, and he's drawn back, and he's aiming at the balloons, and it just holds that, and it just keeps repeating. I know.
When I finally pass on, I am actually I'm in the middle of writing and recording the my own eulogy video because who's going to be able to eulogize me better than me in the way that I want? My wife's going to want something sad and sappy and stuff like that. I want people to be upbeat and happy. But in my video, I will rickroll everybody at least twice. They can't do anything. I'm dead.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Facebook. Facebook just sent me the reminder to be ready to start your live video at 9 p.m.
Thank God we're all backstage and it's not live yet.
Are you sure that your Facebook settings don't think you're in Central? Because then it would only be 20 minutes late.
Yeah. Oh, did you guys see the pictures that I posted of what I was able to actually get a selfie with?
Actually, I haven't had a chance to do much Facebook playing today.
Let me find it. Because this is, I mean, I had the full blown geek out. Oh, and share screen now says present. Why, I don't know, but it does. Rich, this is a full blown geek out because this is the screen used version. Do you see it in the background?
Is that Velcor?
Yes.
Hmm.
That's here in town now.
I was making fun of my wife last night. So when Shang-Chi and Legend of the Ten Rings came out, normally we try to wait and we try to see these things together and stuff like that. So she actually went to a family thing with her sisters, and they actually watched that, and they watched Jungle Cruise. Misty saw those two before I did. So finally, Misty came home, and she told me about that. I'm like, you cheated on me? Really? With your sisters? That's just wrong. So we watched it, and when we get to that point where the dragon bursts out, I'm like, oh my god, it's Shang-Chi and the Never-Ending Story.
Oh, I didn't get the reference, sorry.
So Shang-Chi is riding the dragon at some point in time, and he looks very much like Bastion when he's riding Falcor at the end of Never-Ending Story.
Ah.
Oh, something I found out yesterday that I didn't realize. I mean, it just blew my mind. It's one of those things that you don't see it, and then when you do,
You can't unsee it.
yeah. Well, no, it's like, how did I not see that? And I'm trying to find the names here so I don't screw them up. Here. There's an actress, Penelope Ann Miller. Okay. Now, for those who don't remember, she played in the movie. The first movie I know of that she was in was Adventures in Babysitting, and she played the girlfriend that the babysitter drove into Chicago to rescue because she had run away from home and ran out of money and all that sort of stuff. And that's why they were on their little adventure. Okay. Turns out Penelope Ann Miller, that girl also played Margot Lane in The Shadow with Alec Baldwin. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, Rich is having the same look on his face that I had. It was like, they can't be the same girl. Wait a minute.
She's who?
Penelope Ann Miller.
Yeah.
And I was looking at her IMDb page, all the different things she's been in. Riverdale.
Awakenings, The Freshman.
American Crime, Mistresses. She played Mary Todd. She's just been in a lot of really cool stuff.
Kindergarten Cop. Carlito's Way.
Well, she was grown, right? Yes, she was.
And she's a hottie. So. Of course, she was gorgeous as Margot Lane in The Shadow. So. She played Professor Lane's daughter, and she was psychic.
And Professor Lane, if I recall, was Ian McKellen.
Is Ian McKellen.
And then Tim Curry as the idiot assistant who tried to be the lackey for
there's
Khan.
Rich, there's a shadow behind you in the hallway.
That would be Misty trundling down the hall. Apparently the door opened again. So did the cat come in? Possibly. His favorite place is hanging out under my desk. Oh, hanging out wherever I am.
I remember seeing The Shadow in the theaters when it came out. I'm trying to think of what theater I saw it in, but it had the real fancy sound system in there that was kind of like surround sound, but the scene where they're on the bridge and they're shooting the machine guns at Alec Baldwin, and you can hear it, the guns shooting at the front of the theater, and then you hear all the ricochets behind you and on the speakers in the back of the theater trying to give you that.
You sure you weren't watching a movie in Chicago?
I could have been part of something going down in Chicago. But no, it was a scene on the bridge.
I'm trying to think.
Just slipping on by on LSD Friday Night Trouble Bound.
Trying to think if I want to carve pumpkins this year.
Well, you'll be at home in time to give out candy this year. Because Halloween's on Monday this year.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, that's another thing that Misty and I were looking at to see whether or not she was scheduled. I asked for it off back in February.
You've got a cat spying on you. Rich.
Possibly.
I'm waiting for what happened to Joe Dog to happen to him. You see the door open, the tail coming behind him, and then the attack.
Yeah, his attack will be Snuggles. He knows better than to bite me.
He's over there hiding behind that bookshelf next to the door. Just up there it went.
Yep.
I've seen him that time.
All right.
No, my cat, he'll hop up in my lap, he'll love on me, lick me, nuzzle with me, and then just all of a sudden, that quick, you can see it in his eyes. The attack's on. Bill has seen it. Carl actually got a screenshot of it. He knew it was coming.
I was getting ready to tell you, Joe, the cat's going to get you, and I couldn't even formulate the words in my mouth before it happened. It was that quick.
Yeah,
Well-
Barry pisses off Misty a lot because Barry's a very affectionate cat. And if we are not giving him the level of affection and scritchies that he wants, he will actually swipe at Misty. Just claws out like, that hand is mine, get over here, give me love. He doesn't try that stuff with me. But then again, I'm the alpha.
Learn the hard way, huh?
He's seen the dog before these two cower before me, and these two cower before me, and his father stayed well. His father loved me very much, but you know when he saw that my temper raised a little bit, priest, his father, would head for the hills and stuff like that. So he saw his father, bow before me, if you will. So after his father, went and found his to be alone and pass, I became his dad. So I'm as much his emotional support human as he is my emotional support cat. We actually had to get him certified as an emotional support cat so we can bring him here.
All right.
Now here's a scientific fact about cats, and Carl will agree with me on this one. If cats had the ability to talk, they wouldn't.
Yep.
It's still ignoring you.
All right. Be right back.
Again?
Well, he did say he drank 6 bottles of water.
Little man bladder.
Heaven forbid he ever goes on Lasix.
I'm working on my second bottle of vitamin water. This thing here, of course, it says XXX. It has cute little sayings on here. XXX facts answered. Didn't do naughty movies in college. Don't bother searching. Doesn't do anything for you down there either. And each bottle has something different on them. One was making references to moonshine, to the vitamin water on one of the bottles that I had one day, but I drink a lot of it every day. Drink the vitamin water. I don't have to take the B12 pills or shots.
I'm reading about the Army's new M1 Abrams tank. The M1A2 SEP version 4. And I have no idea what all that means.
But does it have a Hemi?
And Bill,
Nope,
thank you.
Still got the
very
little
much.
jet engine.
So do you think, John, after, what was it, a week or so ago, North Korea fired those missiles. Now South Korea has responded by firing some back. Are we going to have a second Korean War?
I hope so. I'm getting tired of hearing. I'm getting tired of seeing that fat boy's face.
God.
You know, I think the perfect response would be to program a Tomahawk ship attack missile or anti-ship missile. Has about a 540-mile range. Fire it from the Sea of Japan, fly it across North Korea, fly it right down through the middle of town, and sink the USS Pueblo, which is the Navy ship they captured this back during the Korean War or Vietnam War. And they really can't complain that we did it because we were sinking one of our own ships. Just to blow up their war trophy.
Well, guys, at least my kidneys are working, all right?
Are you sure? Because, you know, if a muffler disintegrates,
Yeah.
the hot air still goes through it. It just ain't doing what it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Well, if his kidneys disintegrate, then he will just start bloating because the liquid will have nowhere to get out.
I'll tell you, there's times I'm thinking about drilling a hole in the floor and getting a garden hose and a funnel. Just run it out to the yard.
Keep a gallon jug nearby like a trucker.
No, then you got to dump it. This way I can just take a bottle of water and pour down and flush it out.
They got those Tidy Cat litter that comes in a jug, and the mouth on the jug's about that big around. Just from my National Guard experience, those things come in handy when you're driving a truck.
Gatorade bottles.
Gatorade bottles are another good one.
I actually keep Gatorade bottles in the car because being a diabetic, I get very, very thirsty a lot. So sometimes there is a traffic jam when you work 4 hours in good traffic away from your home. And you need to, not float home in your car.
Well, just drive a boat to work.
Technically, I did.
Oh,
I usually drive large cars. But Bill, I had to thank you because you just reminded me it is the beginning of the month, so I have to have Misty stab me tomorrow. Because of my issues, I can't digest B12 in the proper amounts, so she actually has to give me a shot every month.
yeah. Luckily, the B12 that's in this Glacio vitamin water, it's 100%. You get 200% vitamin C, 100% B5, B6, and B12, 40% vitamin A, and 50% antioxidant selenium. I still haven't figured out what selenium is, what it provides.
Apparently, it provides a silky sheen to your hair and head and shoulders. Or at least the movie Evolution will have us believe that.
Well, I need more of it then.
Trace amounts of selenium are necessary for cellular function in many animals, including humans. It can be toxic, even in small doses. It's seen in. It's also used in dietary supplements and as well as infant formula. So basically, it's one of those electrolytic things that helps your cells do what they're supposed to do.
So I wonder if they have it in Gatorade too then.
Buddy's beeping.
Hey, mate.
I think your pizza's here, Rich.
I think one of the neighbors just got home and locked their car. My window's actually open because, as far as I'm concerned, it is beautiful out. My wife would probably go out there with a hoodie and a parka if we had them in the house yet. I think they're still in storage.
Yeah,
I
got to put up all my shorts and start pulling out all my sweatpants and stuff.
I wear shorts year-round if they let me.
Local meteorologists around here are saying, even though we're going to be going through a little cold snap again, to fear not, because supposedly by the middle of the month, we're going to be back into the mid to upper 70s, which we actually hit 81 here today. And it's kind of cloudy tonight, but it's going to be all cleared off with this front coming through. And that's why why it's going to be having that frost warning or watch, whatever it's going to be, whatever they decide that they want it to be. because no cloud cover, so no warm blanket over the earth to keep the warmth in.
I'm watching this thing. This family got a
Shame on
doormat. They got a doormat for their apartment, and it says "gayest place in town," and it shows these two Church of Latter-day Saints guys walking up to the house. They take one look at the doormat, and walk away.
Sounds like a plan.
I wonder how many doormats that video sold right there.
Probably a bunch.
This moment of silence is brought to you by Nitol.
Yeah, no, just saw the thing from Brian about don't set things on fire.
Hi, Michaela.
Hey, Michaela.
What?
My best friend had posted something that someone misspelled Sprite, so it just says Spite for $1.50. He's like, not a bad deal, but mine's free and way more better.
Yeah, Carl, it's a quiet night. We don't have Dan. My brain is rolling into HallowCon mode, so I'm trying to get all that stuff done. John's just sitting there doing his usual surfing the internet.
Oh, I'm reading. Well, of course, Biden pardoned all the pot users,
Yeah.
and he's trying to get all the laws reviewed to see if they can get smacked down. And, I was reading about everything's going on in Ukraine, Russia, and stuff like that. Apparently, it's kind of funny. Pakistan is actually selling ammo back to Ukraine that they bought from Ukraine when when the Soviet Union collapsed and Ukraine became independent. And then I'm not sure if it's the United States or Britain, but they're finally sending the Steel Rain rockets for the HIMARS system to Ukraine. Each rocket contains 82,000 tungsten ball bearings and an explosive charge. It explodes over the target and literally just rains pellets. It'll take out people and light-skinned vehicles, soft-skinned vehicles, like cars, trucks, baby carriages, canoes.
What a pinball game that would be.
In other words, it's a big shotgun ship.
Big shot. Yes. And
Yeah.
there's another one the U.S. used in Iraq that had the little cluster munitions that were like the little golf ball-sized hand grenades, and each rocket would drop 644 of those, if I remember the number correctly. And a full MLR. We haven't sent, as far as I know, we haven't sent the MLRSs over there, just the HIMARS. HIMARS is half of an MLRS on a truck. The MLRS is a tracked vehicle that can shoot two of the pods out of its launcher instead of the HIMARS, which only has one pod. One MLRS with the scatters, with the scatterable munitions, can cover an entire grid square, 1 kilometer to a side, with explosions in one salvo.
That would be a mess.
It's a mess. Yeah.
Now, I remember when they were dropping MREs to help feed the people,
Mm-hmm.
and for some reason, the cluster bombs that didn't go off was the same color as the MRE pack.
I'm not sure exactly which one. The original MREs were dark brown.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the Soviets had a cluster bomb that has a little rubber device that is, and it flutters down. And that's how it soft lands. Is it looks like kind of like a flower petal,
Yeah.
or it looks like a bow tie, about that same size too, and it flutters in and lands, soft lands. And it's a rubber pouch basically with chemicals in it. And if you step on it, it squeezes the chemical. It's binary explosive, or it's an acid and explosive, I'm not sure which. But it squeezes the chemicals together and creates an explosion. So it's a little blast mine, and it's just powerful enough to blow your toes off your foot. But it's the same color as those old brown MRE packages. And then military went to the light brown after that, which is the tan, desert tan variant. And then they have a bright yellow one that they use for humanitarian relief. And those are the ones I think they're vegetarian meals without pork product. They can feed them to people in Islamic countries that won't eat pork. That was another problem because damn near every MRE the Army has a pork product in it. If pork ain't the entree, pork's in something that's a side dish.
Well, pork's a good source of protein.
I had a guy in my unit that was Muslim, and he was always complaining about that. So I didn't care, so I was always switching MREs with him.
Now, I do like the peanut butter.
Butter's pretty good. It's that long shelf stable peanut butter. Then they have there's a cheese they have. Not the orange cheese, but the white cheese. That one's pretty good. That one you could actually, back in the day, if I could get that, ham slices and a couple slices of bread, or one of the loaves of MRE bread, I'd make a sandwich.
Now, the peanut butter, it's best before you open the peanut butter to squeeze it.
You got to knead it because the oil separates.
Yeah.
So you got to mix that up. The trick is to keep it in your pocket, keep it warm for a little bit, then knead it.
Good night, Carl.
Good night, Carl.
You have to field strip your MREs.
And Carl, you need to watch the replay since you're going to bed. I got to do closing tonight, so.
I just bought some peanut butter at Trader Joe's Tuesday when we were on our Chicago trip, not realizing it was the same kind that where all the oil rose to the top and you got to stir and stir and stir.
You know the trick
And then
to
it's
that?
like,
You know the trick to that?
what's that?
Turn the jar upside down when you store it. And that way when you go to use it, flip back up top, the oil's where it needs to be and it's easier to stir.
Well, when I stirred it up, it was like peanut butter milk. There was so much oil, and it, because it's Trader Joe's, it was organic peanut butter. I saw the chunky, which I like chunky peanut butter, and of course you see all the peanuts at the top that you got to stir into it. But I thought, well, to try it for the first time, I better try the creamy version. But it tells you to store it in the refrigerator after you open it, though, too.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't get that, but see if that thickens it up any, I guess.
It doesn't have any preservatives.
No, not at all.
That's why.
Hey Joe.
Yeah.
What do you do about the food for HallowCon?
What do you
Where do you buy it? I mean, when do you start buying it? That sort of thing.
Shit, we started buying stuff back in August. I got 2 deep freezes here, plus Ruth has some, and then a lot of our shelf staples stuff. I know our soda cost has gone damn through.
Really?
Yeah. Pop is almost $3 a case more in a lot of places.
Well, we get the 35 can, or we're getting the 35 can case of Coke at Sam's. Last year it was $12.98. This year it's $17.98.
Yeah, the regular cases of Coke are about $8 to $9, and we just paid $13.
Yeah. And when you're buying 20, 30 cases of sodas at $5 a case, that adds up real damn quick. That's $100 we can spend in food or beer.
Oh, maybe we got to start making our own soda. Not that hard, really.
We got a book on that here somewhere.
Well, I know possibly Walmart, but I know Meijer and a couple places have that machine that you buy just the syrups or whatever to make your own soda pop. I'm trying to think of what it's called. I can't remember.
Soda Stream.
Yeah, Soda Stream. Yeah.
No, I was thinking about getting the old
fountain machine.
Yeah.
The Soda Stream is unique. Some of the flavors weren't bad, but none of them were right.
Well, one reason I want to go with the soda fountain things is there's a YouTube channel that actually has the guy researched and tested and all that. He has the original Coke formula.
With cocaine?
No, not with the cocaine. He said no, it doesn't have the cocaine.
Oh,
but
it's not the original Coke.
It's it was the 1970s Coke formula.
Oh.
Before the abomination.
Well, you can buy the glass bottles of the Mexican Coke in either separately or in 4-packs, and actually Dollar General sells those individually as well. And yes, it's made with cane sugar. It's pretty close to the 70s, or obviously not the new Coke or anything like that. But the one that's closest to the original formula that Pemberton came out with, the Dutch make their version of Coca-Cola like that, minus the cocaine. And I've had a bottle of that before, and it is like drinking liquor. It's really, really strong. And that you can, a lot of websites that will sell international soda pop, I'm sure you could probably find it on one of them.
Hey, it was your container for Tricky Dick there.
I'm sorry, my thing went kind of wacky. What did you say again, Rich?
Oh, I said it was Fern for your container for Tricky Dick there.
We did the
the sock
thing,
puppet,
and it looked like
like what you had
Oh, yeah.
Nixon in.
Socko. It's Socko. Now I'm taken back to that episode of, was it on MASH? The one guy that Klinger thought was competition for being crazy, but he actually really was crazy. He was talking to his socks and his shoes and shooting his M1 in the air, thinking he was taking down enemy planes.
Yeah, I miss MASH. That is a series that still holds up today.
Yeah. In fact, actually, looking to see if
50th anniversary this year too.
anywhere is streaming MASH.
Me TV.
Suicide is painless.
Me TV shows that six nights a week, 6 o'clock Central, 2 episodes.
the producer's son wrote that theme song, "Suicide is Painless," when he was 14,
Yeah.
and he's been getting royalties for it ever since.
That is awesome.
That ain't it though. I mean, just like write a song, and it becomes, A, it's in a movie, B, it's in the series, okay? And it's still on the air every damn day. Like it's like that's got to be some decent change coming.
Yeah.
Even it's only like $10 a week or something. Still,
I had to shake my head when my youngest was in the hospital last year. They were in a ward with individuals who had attempted to commit suicide, and that show kept coming on, and I'm just like, if anyone knew the theme song and the words, they're not thinking here. That's not the song you want to play in a ward with kids who are just trying this crap.
One of the things that they say on Me TV, they do the little kind of, did you know this about MASH during their commercials, that only 2 people from the television series were actually ever involved in the military. Of course, one was Alan Alda, who sure served a very short time in the military, and then Max Klinger, and I think he did a 2-year term, and they showed pictures of Klinger, wearing these round John Lennon style glasses, I guess during the day. He was, I think, part of the Korean conflict too, if I remember correctly.
he was drafted into the U.S. Army, undergoing his basic training with the 6th Infantry Division in Fort Worth, California. He served for 2 years in Japan on the radio and in Korea on television, making one of 3 cast members of MASH who have served in the U.S. military in Korea. The others being Alan Alda and Mike Farrell.
Oh, okay. They don't mention Mike Farrell on Me TV segment of that, but that's interesting.
Farrell, was that Trep or was that
BJ?
Okay.
BJ.
His wife was in a couple of those episodes too, playing a nurse, I believe. Yeah.
See, didn't he have kids in there too, or something? Or
I don't remember. Of course, Alan Alda's dad was in a couple of episodes, Robert Alda. And I'm trying to think of what Mike Farrell's wife's first name was, and I'm thinking it's Sharon, but I could be wrong.
there was a Shelley Faberge and Judy Hayden. Hello?
Shelley, she was big time in all the beach movies of the 60s.
Yeah.
And then she was also in some of Donna Reed show and later episodes of One Day at a Time.
Judy Farrell is the one that had roles in it.
Judy.
Played Nurse Abel.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, real tall girl.
Well, he was tall too.
Okay.
Use their daughter's name, Erin. Did y'all show Perry's next one? Got thrown out of a local park for arranging squirrels by height. They didn't like his criticizing.
Terry's been hanging around Cindy Kep too long, I think, with those kind of jokes.
Farrell, no, and Mike Farrell was a Marine.
So are we ready to wrap this one up, guys?
I'm gonna say yeah.
Stick a fork.
Wrap her up. I'll take it.
Okay.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks for showing up.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Mike and Diaz.
Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, John. And John, we're going to have to get together to figure out what we're going to do Thursday night before the convention. If you're going to run the show and get some of the other people in, because you don't show up until Friday, right?
I hadn't thought about it. I could show up on Thursday.
Okay. Well, if you show up on Thursday, we won't have a show. All right. So with that, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you, everybody. I want everybody to say good night to us. Yep. And everybody sort of just hang around because you never know. Something may happen after the show ends. So hang around and watch. And with that, we're going to say good night, everybody.
Slipped the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter's silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up the long, delirious, burning blue I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, where never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.